Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so today we are going to learn about keys. What are keys? Actually, we already have learned about that in RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. We store our data in the form of tables, right? But imagine I am going to create a school management software. So in that I need to have a database so that I can store the data of my students, my teachers, and different staffs, right? And much more about that, my school details, and in student particularly, which student is reading in which class, which subjects they have got, and what are the marks they have obtained, right, for student section. So these are, you can imagine that how much data we are going to store in our database, right? So the thing is, just like if we are going to manage this via folder system, we cannot store the whole data in a single folder or a single file, right? We cannot store the whole data in a single or particular file. In the same way, if I am going to store my data in the form of tables, then I cannot store the whole data in one only particular table, right? Because for student section I need to have a different table, for teacher section I'm going to create a different table, because everything cannot be combined into a single table. This will be very difficult and complicated for us. So for that what we do is that we create different tables to store different datas, right? So what are keys now? What role keys plays in the database? All right, database keys. Keys are very important part of relational database. They are used to establish and identify relation between tables. They also ensure that each record within a table can be uniquely identified by combination of one or more fields within a table. So, have you watched the video of previous one, right? Like relationship, in which I have talked about different relationship, one to one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then okay, it's quite it will be easy for you. Okay. So as we discussed, we cannot store our whole data in a single table. So we will create different tables for different datas, right? But now let's say suppose in my school there are 5 students. Let's say Rima, Seema, Khushbu, and Mira, and James. Okay. So in this will can be stored in a table called student. Now I am going to take a test for SQ1. So different student will got different marks, right? So in this particular table I'll just store the details of student. I will create a different table so that I can manage marks, how much marks Rima got, how much marks Seema got. Okay, so for that what will I create? I will create a different table. Now let's say I want to store that Rima got 50 marks. Then how can I do that? In this table I will say Rima got 50 marks, Seema got 30 marks, like way. Okay, now the problem is that, let's say in my uh, classes one more student come and her name is also Meera. Maybe your this Meera will be different to this one, like her DOV will be different, her address will be different, but the name is same, right? You can see that, Meera and Meera. Now let's say I store Meera here and I'll say 30 marks. She got 30 marks. Now anyone will be confused, Meera, which Meera got 30 marks? This one or the new student? Maybe DOB address and something will be different, but the name for both the students is Meera, and I'll store Meera here. Then it will be confusing for us that which Meera she is, whether this one our old student or the new one, right? So this will be a confusing point. We cannot determine which Meera got 30 marks, right? So, to overcome this problem, we first of all create a primary key in our table. Hello, James. Why are you late today?
I'm so sorry. I was kind of was in a meeting. Sorry.
All right. We are waiting for a long time. Okay, no worry.
Okay, okay,
Let's continue.
yeah, okay,
So,
okay.
so to overcome this, we create a primary key in our table. What does this do? Primary key. We are going to see. Primary key basically uniquely identify a data. Uniquely identify, or you can say a row. Let's say in my table I have 5 rows again, but this time I will not depend on the name of students like Meera, Seema, Reema, and James. Let's say, so we have different names this time, but let's say one more Meera came to our school. Then to not depend on just her name, what I will do is I will create one more column ID, and this ID will be unique to each and every one, right? Like this Meera is going to get, let's say, one ID, then she will get 2, 3, 4, 5, meaning no ID will be, this ID column will not going to be duplicate. Each and every ID will be unique for each and every student. So now let's say again I will create the table of marks, and this time to store the data of how much everyone gets, instead of writing the name I will write student ID. This is ID, the student ID. I'll just give it a name, student ID and name, and different columns like address or course which she is taking, right? So this time instead of writing the name of students, I'll write student ID and marks obtained. So this time Meera got 30 marks, so I will write 1 as a 30 marks. 1 means this one, because this student ID has 1, right? So I will make sure that this ID will be unique for each and every one. Now one ID, student ID 1 got 30 marks, so I will just go to different table and then just search for 1. Okay, here is 1, so this Meera got 30 marks. And now let's say Seema got 40 marks, so instead of writing the name here, I'll write this ID 2 as 40 marks. So student ID 2 means that this Seema got 40 marks. And again let's say Meera, this new Meera got 30 marks too. So instead of writing name, what I will write? I will write the ID. That means 5. 5 got 30 marks. So this time it is not going to be confusing that which Meera got which how much marks, right? It will be clear for us that student ID 1 means this Meera and student ID 5 means this Meera. Okay, do you understand, Meera?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, yes.
So the main role of keys is to uniquely identify our rows, that is called as primary key. Okay, so we are going to discuss more about this one. This is just an introduction. Okay, so we have different type of keys: super keys, candidate keys, primary key. We have just discussed about a little bit of this primary key, and composite key and alternate key. Okay, so we have different kind of keys in a single table we can have. So we are going to look one by one, and we also have foreign key. This is going to be a foreign key, which means one table will be connected to this one. The connection between different tables is performed by using this foreign key. We are going to see this. So these kind of keys are available in our relational database management system. Okay, so now let's understand one by one about each and every key. What is super key? A super key is a group of single or multiple keys which identifies rows in a table. A super key may have additional attributes that are not needed for unique identification. What does this mean? We do not understand, right? By only definition. We need to have an example. Before that, let's say this is in my student table. We have columns, right? Student ID, name, roll number, okay, and let's say address. All right, so for this you can understand that student ID, each row can be uniquely identified by not only one column, just student ID. We uh, we also can uniquely identify by roll number, right? In our class no student has same roll number, right? This is also going to be unique, isn't it?
Yes, 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 I get you.
Yes. So as we can see here that in a single table we have two options to select as a primary key, and it is totally depend on us that which column I am going to create as a primary key. Let's say someone choose to be roll number as a primary key, someone else choose as a student as a primary key, right? So as a programmer this depend on us that which column I can select as a primary key. Also I can choose roll number and name as a primary key. We don't have only one single column need to be selected. We can select combination of two or more than two columns to uniquely identify a single row. Let's say Meera has 30 roll number and the second Meera has 40 roll number, right? So based on this I also can identify that this Meera roll number 30 is different than this Meera roll number 40. So these both two columns can uniquely identify, right? So it totally depends on us that which column do we select. Now take this example. We have employee SSN number, employee number and employee name. This is a sample table. We have SSN number, name, employee number and then the name. In this figure, employee SSN and employee number, name are super keys. Why these are super keys? Let's again read the definition. A super key is a group of single or multiple keys which identify rows in a table, meaning that super keys is a column or a group of column. This is a column, this is different column, and we can take as a group of column or a particular single column. A super key may have additional attributes that are not needed for unique identification. Let's say that these are called as super keys. Why these are called super keys? Because on the basis of this combination I can uniquely identify each and every employee. That's why these columns are termed as super keys. Are you getting my point?
Can you repeat once more
Yes, sure. Let's. Super key is basically a column or a group of column. We can take employee SSN only, or we can take employee number. So let's only take this employee SSN number. So this employee, based on this employee SSN number, I can uniquely identify this rows, right? That this employee is different than this one, because this employee SSN is going to be unique, right? For every employee, and this employee number is also going to be unique, right? This employee number is also going to be unique, this one is also going to be unique for each and every employee. So based on this, then we can identify that this column and a group of these two columns, we can uniquely identify, or we can identify different employees, that this Son employee is different than this royal number. Let's say James. So one more James comes to our class, and this employee number will be AB08 and 19987 something, anything, right? So these two columns value will be different, but this James name is same, right? So, a super key is a combination of keys that uniquely identify unique values. For this, we can uniquely identify different employees, right? So, super key is a group of single or multiple keys which identify rows in a table. So, we have different options to select one of them as a primary key. We haven't discussed about primary key, but we can a little bit of that primary key is basically used to uniquely identify, right? So we, in a single table, we have different options to select as a primary key, different options, and it depends on us that which key I'm going to select as a primary key. I can select this one or this one too, or the combination of two. So these keys will be termed as super keys because any one of them can be selected as a primary key.
Okay, okay.
Now, primary key. So, super keys basically different columns, and it depends on us that which column I am going to select as a primary key. So, primary key is a column or a group of columns in a table that uniquely identify every row in that table. So, we have just discussed the student ID, right? If I select name as a primary key, is it possible to us to select name as a primary key? No, because in this world we have so many people with the same name, right? So we cannot select this name as a primary key. We need to have a column which is unique to each and every one. So this student ID in this case is going to be our primary key. A table cannot have more than one primary key. In the case of super key, we can have different columns, right, in a single column, in a single table. But primary key can only be one, not more than that. Only one column can be selected as a primary key. Rules for identifying primary key. What are the rules based on which I will select that which one should be primary key? So the first rule says that two rows can't have the same primary key value. Let's say I'll create student ID as a primary key, but at later point of time, some student has repeated student ID. Let's say this one is James, and this one is Meera. So both have the same student ID, right? So we cannot select student ID as a primary key in that case, because the rule says that two rows can't have same primary key. Every primary key can only be selected if we have different values, unique values for each and every row. If any one of them has repeated value, let's say 3, and somewhere else 3 is also present, so this student ID in that case cannot be selected as a primary key. Okay, so primary key value should be always and always be unique. Okay, Okay, all right. The second rule says it must for every row to have a primary key value. Okay, so it is mandatory for us that whenever we create a table, it is mandatory for us to always have a primary key. This is not just the requirement, it is mandatory part. We have to create a primary key in each every table. Let's say I'll create a student table, so it is important and it is mandatory for us that there will be a column of primary key. We can select roll number as a primary key, we can select a student id as a primary key, we can select mobile number as a primary key because every student have their own mobile number. So we have different options, right? And the different options are termed as super keys, and any one of them selected as a primary key only. So it is mandatory for us to have a primary key in every column, in every table. The primary key field cannot be null. Okay, now we got a unique, or you can say this term null. What is null? Okay, in our programming, what we do, let's say I'm going to create an integer variable. So for this, let's say I'll create abc, a variable, and we do not initialize this. What it is going to store by default? We have learned about default values, right, in our C++ class. Do you remember, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
So what it is going to store?
One.
Sorry?
One.
No, zero.
Zero.
0. We have default values. Integer we have 0. Float we have 0.00. For double we will have 0.000. And for, let's say, string, we have an empty string, right? So these are the default values, right? But these are the values, right? But in database case, it is totally different. We do not have default values. I mean, we can store the default values. We are going to see that later. But let's say I want to store a column of age, student age. Okay? Oh, what's the problem? Okay, let's say I have created a table called student, and in this student table I just want to store student id to uniquely identify my students, and let's say name of the student, and what are those age. Okay, so let's say two students came to me and one of them has name James and his name, okay, sorry, student id, student id 1, and name is let's say Seema, and I don't, and age is 20. Now let's say different student Reema, and I don't know about her age, what the age what is her age. So what I need to store here? Can I store 0 here? No, because 0 is not a valid age. 0 is not a valid age, right? So we cannot store age here, but age is of integer type. Let's say when I create a variable called age, it is going to store 0 in programming language. But for database in real scenario, we cannot store 0 here because no one has age 0, and nor even I can set any default values. Let's say I don't know about the Rima, I can just estimate or I can just tell her estimate age only when I see her, right? So I totally don't know about Rima. Rima can be a little child or a younger child or an old one also, right? So I don't know about Rima anything, and based on that I cannot also estimate the age, right? So what I will store here? I cannot store 0 here because no person has the age 0, because 0 is a right. So in this case, this null value came into picture. This null means not none, or you can say unknown. I don't know about anything. This null represent that. So for Rima, I don't know about her age. She can be 20, she can be 10, she can even be 5, can be 100. I don't know about anything about her age. Okay, so in this case I'll store null here. Null means not none, nothing. So this is what a null means. Null means not none, unknown, totally unknown for me. So in database, whenever this kind of values we have, that we don't know about the data, what the age she will have, not only age, we are going to see different columns, or let's say I don't know about her name. What is name of this student? So in that case, what can I store? I can store empty string, but this is also a value, empty string, right? So in this case also I cannot store this empty string. So what will I store? I will store null here. Null means not none. I don't know about the name of this student ID, so I will store null. So in every column, when we do not know the value of anything, so instead of storing the default values, I'll store null there. Null. Null means I don't know. Okay, so what does this rule says? The primary key field cannot be null. Okay, so let's say we have created a student ID as a primary key. In anywhere places, I cannot store null as a primary key, because the rule says that primary key field cannot be null. Null means not none. It should have a value and a unique value. Okay, so this rule says that primary key field cannot be null. Any other fields can be null, like in the example of age and name. If I don't know about her name, then I'll store null here. If I don't know the age of her, then I'll store null here. But primary key, we have student ID as a primary key. This value cannot be as a null, because primary key rule says that primary key field cannot be selected as a null. So we must have a value 2 or 3 or anything but unique value. So this is the third rule. The value in a primary key column can never be modified or updated if any foreign key refers to that primary key. It totally means that, let's say I have created a table of a student, okay, and I have created a table of marks. Okay, now we have let's say ID of 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and name is R P T U V. These are the name, short name. Okay, and let's say age is 30, 40, 90, 60 and 30, anything for now. So this ID is going to be as a primary key, student ID. Okay, now I want to store the marks of each and every student. So instead of writing R here, what I need to write here? We have just seen this, right? Instead of writing, let's say R got 30 marks. So instead of writing R here, because R is duplicate, right? Name can be duplicate. Two persons can have the same name, R and R. So instead of writing R here, what I need to do right here? I need to store ID of a student, so that it should be unique for us. So instead of writing R, I'll write the ID of a student 2. So 2 got marks 50, 3 got 30, and this way 4 got 60, 5 got 11, and 6 got 35, 7 got 40, anything. Right. Now let's say this our person or our student came to me and asked me to please change my name to R to RK. Okay, she requested me to change his name. So what I will do, I will just simply go to the database and simply update the value R to RK. Okay, now let's this T student came to me and requested me to please change my age 90 to 95. No, not a problem. I'll just simply go to my table and just open it and update this to 95. We are going to see how to update, how to delete all of them, but later point of time. Okay, so this is not going to be an issue. I can easily update the values. Now let's say this R came to me and requested me to please change my student ID as 8. Now this is a problem. We already have a table, right? And in this table we have stored the student ID 7 as represent this R, and he got 40 marks. Now he requested me to update the value of 7. How can I do that? It is not possible because I already have created one more table and I already have stored this ID to somewhere else. Then I cannot update your value. Sorry for that. I'll just simply say sorry, I cannot change it. So this line now read again. The value in a primary key column can never be modified or updated if any foreign key refers to that primary key. Let's say I don't have created this table and I don't have stored this 7 or 40. Then it is very easy for me to update this 7. This is a primary column. Keep this in mind. Okay, so this is a primary key, and let's say I haven't created this table, so if he requested to me do so, I'll just update it. That's completely okay. But if I already have created another table based on this primary key, then I cannot update the primary key value. Okay, so this is all about this fourth rule. The value in a primary key column can never be modified or updated if any foreign key refers to the primary key. If any other table have already created based on this primary key, then I cannot update the value of primary key. Did you get this point?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so let's take this example. We have a student ID, roll number, first name, last name, email. Okay, so we have two columns, student ID and roll number, which is quite easy for us to identify that these columns can be selected as a primary key. So I have selected this student ID as a primary key. So both the ID will be combinedly known as super keys because both the columns can be selected as a primary key, right? We have two options. So these will be termed as super keys. But we only have selected this student ID as a primary key to be, because only one primary key in a table. Only one primary key. So we have selected student ID as a primary key. Okay. Now did you understand about difference between super keys and primary key? We have options, different columns to select any one of them or a combination of both to select as a primary key. When that column is selected as a primary key, then this column will be termed as primary key. Okay, now alternate keys. What is this? Alternate key is a column or a group of columns in a table that uniquely identify every row in that table. A table can have multiple choices for a primary key, but only one can be set as a primary key. All the keys which are not primary key are called as alternate keys. So we have different options. Roll number, let's say I'll create roll number, student ID, or let's say mobile number, right? So we have different options to select any one of them as a primary key. So now I choose, so these all three will be termed as what? Super keys, because these all three columns are can be used to uniquely identify each and every student. So these are termed as super keys. Now I have selected student ID as a primary key. Okay. Now two columns are left which are not selected as a primary key. So what these columns will be termed as? These columns will be termed as alternate key. Alternate key means it can be selected as a primary key, but it hasn't been selected as a primary key, right? Let's say in my class there are 50 students, right? And I am a teacher. Okay, I am a teacher. I can clearly see that roll number 1, roll number 3 and roll number 5, these three students are brilliant. These has the capability of monitoring the class, but I can only select only one student as a as a what, as a, what does this say, that head the class, what this, monitor. Yeah, that's I completely forget about monitor. In our class there are different students who are brilliant in their subjects, who have brilliant capabilities, but I can only select only one monitor, right? So these three students in my mind, that these three, any one of them can be selected as a monitor. But let's say I choose roll number 5 to be selected as a monitor, right? So these two are can be termed as who has the capability to being a monitor, but I haven't selected these two, right? So in the same way, in our table we have different options, right? I have different options to select any one of them as a primary key, but this is a situation that I can only select one column as a primary key. This is the rule. So I cannot go against the rule. So I'll select any one of them as a primary key, and others will be termed as what? Alternate key. Are you getting this point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in this table we can say student ID, roll number, first name, last name and email. So what are the keys which can be selected as a primary key? Can you identify that?
Student ID and roll number.
Okay, and is it email? Everyone has a different email, right?
Yes.
So we have three options. Any one of them can be selected as a primary key. Let's say I choose roll number as a primary key. Roll number as a primary key. Then what does this other columns will be termed as? These other columns will be termed as alternate key. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Now candidate key. What are candidate key? Candidate key is a set of attributes that uniquely identify tuples. What this tuple means? I have already,
Rows.
yes, rows are also termed as tuples. So identify tuples in a table. Candidate key is a super key with no repeated attributes. What does this mean? The primary key should be selected from the candidate keys. A table can have multiple candidate keys. Okay, let's just, yeah, now. Okay, so we have learned about super keys, primary key and alternate key. Now this one, candidate key. This is same as a little bit of super key, but the only difference is that these rules should be satisfied, only then we can say that this is a candidate key. It must contain unique values, must not contain null values. So for in this example, student ID, roll number and email are termed as candidate keys. Now this is same as our super key, right? But what is the difference between super key and primary key? We are getting confused about this, right? Okay, now let's clear this one. The difference is that, let's say this roll number, or this student ID. Let's take this email. So it is not mandatory that everyone has an email ID. It is possible, or it is also possible that there is a student who haven't created her or his email ID yet. So for that column, what I am going to store there? I need to store null here, right? Null means don't know. So it is possible that there will be a student who do not have any email ID. But still this is termed as super keys, because null is also unique. Only one student is there which has null value. Other students have their email ID, right? So it is still be termed as super key. But in case of candidate key, this email ID is not going to be considered as a candidate key. Only this student ID and roll number will be termed as candidate key. So the difference between candidate key and super key is that super key value can have null, but in case of candidate key it is never going to be null. It is never going to contain null values.
Ma'am, question.
I'm sorry?
Question.
Yes, please.
If the name cannot be a candidate key,
Mm-hmm.
it cannot.
No, it is never going to be candidate key. Candidate keys are basically the options which we can select any one of them as a primary key.
Okay.
It is same as super key, but the difference is that in our super key we can have null value, but in case of candidate key it is never ever going to be have a null value. It is always going to be unique and not null. So if this email is selected as not null value, means we cannot store null here in any one of them, then it is going to be considered as candidate keys. But let's say this email is a null value, any one of them has a null value, then this email will not going to be considered as candidate key, but it is still in the category of super key, because super key only consider about uniqueness. So let's say this one has there is a student called James, Ram and Syam. So James has null value and Ram has abc@gmail.com, and this Syam has kbc kbc@gmail.com, right? So in this case we can clearly see that this is all still unique, because this null is never ever repeated anymore, right? So this is still unique for us. So this can be considered as super keys, but in case of candidate key this is not going to be considered as candidate key, because the difference between candidate key and super key is that super key only check for uniqueness, whereas in candidate key we check for unique values as well as not contain null values.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, now in this figure we can clearly see that we have different columns, and these student ID, roll number and email, in case of this, can be selected, any one of them can be selected as a primary key, right? We have options. Let's say I have selected this student ID as a primary key, right? Then what the other value will be termed as, these columns will be termed as alternate key. So this picture says everything, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I hope now it is clear about candidate key, super key, or primary key. Okay, so I think we have to stop now for this class. We are going to see about other keys in our next class. We have composite key and we have foreign key. Need to be discussed these. Only these two keys are left. So we are going to discuss about in the next class. So thank you for today.